สวัสดีครับทุกคนในช่วงแรกเปลี่ยนถัดไปนะครับทุกคนสามารถตั้งค่าใน Zoom เพื่อจะฟังคำแปลได้นะครับโดยมองหาสัญลักษณ์จุด3จุดนะครับที่เขียนคำว่า more นะครับแล้วก็มองหาสัญลักษณ์ลูกโลกครับ interpretation นะครับแล้วก็เลือกภาษาที่ต้องการว่าอยากจะ listen in Thai หรือว่าเป็น English นะครับผมหรือถ้าอยากจะให้ขึ้น subtitle นะครับก็สามารถกดสัญลักษณ์ CC นะครับที่เขียนว่า Show Caption ได้เลยนะครับผมและระหว่างที่แลกเปลี่ยนนะครับหากมีคำถามข้อสงสัยนะครับอยากจะแลกเปลี่ยนสิ่งใดก็สามารถพิมพ์มาในช่องแชทและก็พิมพ์มาได้ทั้งในภาษาไทยและก็ภาษาอังกฤษนะครับผมถ้าเราพร้อมแล้วเดี๋ยวเรามาเริ่มกันเลยนะครับ Welcome to the Knowledge Exchange session. Everyone, please give a warm round of applause for Miss Angeline Chan. Yay! Good morning, Angeline. How do you do?
สวัสดีครับคุณแองเจลีนเช้านี้เป็นยังไงบ้างสวัสดีค่ะทุกคน
Yeah, thank you for your time. Angeline, could you please provide us a brief overview of character education in Singapore and how you and other teachers implement this method in your school, Anglo-Chinese School Primary?
ตัวอย่างจากโรงเรียนประถมศึกษาแองโกสิงคโปร์เนี่ยเป็นยังไงบ้างขอบคุณมากนะคะสำหรับการต้อนรับที่อบอุ่นแล้วก็ที่ช่วยแนะนำเกี่ยวกับตัวฉันนะคะก็วันนี้จะมาแนะนำเล็กน้อยนะคะมาแลกเปลี่ยนเกี่ยวกับการศึกษา Character Education นะคะดิฉันแองเจลินฉานนะคะจากโรงเรียน Anglo สิงคโปร์ค่ะ Anglo Chinese นะคะ
Anglo Chinese School Primary
ก็มาจากฝั่งประถมศึกษานะคะ
all our students are boys
นักเรียนของเราทั้งหมดเป็นผู้ชายนะคะ
about 6-7 years old
อายุประมาณ
12 years old so we
6-7 ขวบถึง 12 ปีนะคะ
of primary school education
ก็เป็นการศึกษาประถมศึกษา6 ปีนะคะ
So it is my honor to share with all of you about character education
ก็เป็นเกียรติมากๆเลยวันนี้ที่ได้มีโอกาสเข้ามาแบ่งปันนะคะประสบการณ์ให้กับทุกท่าน
So before I get started maybe let's do a quick
ก่อนจะเริ่มนะคะเดี๋ยวเรามาเช็คอินหรือว่ามาทักทายกันนิดหน่อยนะคะว่าวันนี้พวกเรารู้สึกยังไงกันบ้างนะคะเพราะวันนี้ก็เริ่มกันเช้ามากนะคะ
the reaction button
อาจจะกดเป็นอีโมจิหรือว่า reaction ใน Zoom นะคะ
you can give me a thumbs up
จะเป็นแบบว่าชูนิ้วโป้งก็ได้
for the day of learning on this online symposium or maybe you are feeling a little tired you can give a thumbs down but you are good to go ahead since we are all in for a great learning this morning so maybe I can have a quick look at your emojis and all. Yeah, thank you very much for all those who are participating on this. Yeah, so sometimes it is wonderful for us as teachers. I know all of you here are teachers just like me. I teach mainly English and math in my primary school. And sometimes it's really wonderful for us to check in with our students before we start the day or even before we start our lesson to find out how our students are feeling. Sometimes they may come with them problems from their family, problems from friendship, and that sometimes affect how they will learn, how they will behave in our class for the day. So it is really good to just check in like how I did a check-in with all of you to make sure that we are all ready to learn together for the day. So, character education in maybe I will just share a little bit with you this quote that I've taken from our Minister of Education, Mr. Chan Chuan Sing. And he has mentioned this in our teachers conference and Excel Fest in 2021. And this is what he said. As with many things that we do, we cannot measure success by the here and now, but we know deep in our hearts that success will only be manifested when the next generation grows up better than us, exhibiting the qualities and values. So I want to draw your attention to these two words, qualities and values, that we have planted with the seeds that we sow today. So the teaching of values and social emotional learning are core and essential to develop a child with good character and become a useful citizen in our society. Now, these lifelong lessons will guide our students to discern between right and wrong, help them to make responsible choices, and become more aware of their roles in society. Over here, you can see our character education framework in this bright yellow, orange. We lovingly call it our Swiss roll framework. Now, to help our students thrive in this fast-changing world, we have identified a suite of core values and competencies that are increasing important. They underpin the holistic education that our schools provide to better prepare students for the future. In order to do that, character education in schools become more important as it forms the foundation of the framework, central to developing students' values and social emotional competencies. It underpins all other skills and knowledge, shaping how students apply their abilities in real-world
นักเรียนแล้ว
context.
ก็สมรรถนะทางสังคมและอารมณ์ด้วยนะคะ
To carry out character education in Singapore, we have structures to support the teaching in our school. For today's sharing, I will only focus on these two learning platforms. One, A, will be character education lessons in timetable. That means these are protected lesson time built into our timetable lesson. B, student development experiences. Now, these are learning opportunities or just-in-time moment that can take place to teach our students moral and character education that is not found inside our timetable time. And I think I hear during the opening speech, we all share that struggles of trying to teach character and moral education to our students, trying to find enough time to do that. So today in my sharing, I will share some of these things that we do in Anglo-Chinese school that hopefully will give you some ideas as to what you can do and apply in your own school as well. So a little introduction to how my school is. Now in ACS Primary, our brand of education is anchored on our founder, Bishop Oldham's vision of the ACS philosophy of education. This is rooted on academic excellence, strength of character, and also Christian service. The school's vision is to produce young Xiuwen. We call our young boys Xiuwen. To produce young Xiuwen gentlemen of character, capability, and creativity. And you notice that in our vision, the first thing that we want our boys to be is to be a young man of character. Character and moral value come first before capability and creativity. And to realize our school's vision, we hope to develop them into an active contributor, a creative learner, a servant leader, as well as a passionate learner. And today, for our symposium, I'm going to focus on just the active contributor and servant leader, how we do this for our young gentlemen. And through our 6 years of education in ACS Primary, we always ask ourselves, how would we want our boys to be at home, in school, as well as in the larger community? So how would we want our students, for all of you as well in Thailand, how would you want your students to be at home, in school, and also in the wider community? So I'm going to go into the very first part, which is having character education in a timetable lesson. Now, the goal of character education in Singapore is to inculcate values and build competencies in our students to develop in them good character, resilience, and social emotional well-being. This is done through timetable lessons, such as Form Teacher Guidance Period, in short, FTGP. Now, the FTGP lessons provide the time, protected time, for teachers to engage and build relationship with our students through discussion and effective classroom strategies. Now, during FTGP lessons, there are explicit teachings of values and social emotional skills to address the holistic development needs of our student. So what does that mean? So it means that we teach them skills to help them understand, for example, understand their own emotions, how to regulate their emotions, and to learn how to manage relationship with others. And over here, you can see this is how our 6 years program looks like. From one, which is Asian, and every year the teaching of the character and moral values, including social emotional learning skills, are all spiral upwards, built on one another. Now, in order to teach character education, and ensure there is a lasting impact in our student, there is a need for a caring and enabling school environment. Now, why is that important? Well, we all know that as humans, we have these basic psychological needs to connect with others, to feel emotionally and physically safe, and to have that sense of belonging so that we can experience great competencies. Now, in order to encourage that kind of motivation, school will then be a place where such needs are being met. And we can meet such need by building a caring community through positive relationship between the teachers and the students, where there is mutual respect, care, and support for one another. Now, I grew up in a very traditional Asian culture, and I'm very sure quite a number of you also grow up in this very traditional Asian culture where children have to show absolute obedience to our elderly, to our teachers, and usually communication is one way. That means we listen and we do what is being told. Now, there are great values in that, but in order to encourage conversation, to help us as teachers understand who our students are beyond the classroom, who they are when they are outside school, there is a need to build a strong teacher-student relationship. It's only when we establish very rapport with our students and we are who they are, then it is easier for them to know and understand why we teach them the values and moral education that we hope they need to know. We know that right now, our younger generation, the children that we have, they grow up in a digital world. Many of them will hold their handphone, they will rather use their handphone, play games, meet people online. And I'm very sure you and I, we do the same too. But we must not forget that it is important to build that one-to-one rapport with our students so that we can guide them in this digital world to help them understand that what they see in the digital world may not be what they thought it should be. And to get our students to start talking to us and not just dive into the digital world and find a comfort in the digital world, building a positive teacher-student relationship will be very important. And that is why in my school, in ACS Primary, we build student characters and values through the creation of positive classroom culture. And this is mainly done by working on strong student-teacher relationship. And I want to share these 3 things that we can look at to build a strong teacher-student relationship. 1, understand our students. 2, communicate care and respect. 3, affirm and appreciate our students. And I want to draw attention to the 3rd one, especially the 3rd one here. Affirm and appreciate our students. Sometimes as teachers, we are very quick to correct our students, to tell them what they did wrong. But I want to encourage every one of you today to think of it the other way. Why not catch our students doing good things, no matter how small they are? And this is especially true for children with special education needs, that means children with SEN, or children from low progressing background, or children who are at risk, with at-risk family background. Sometimes, many times, they are being told what they are doing wrongly, what they are not doing correct. And it's very rare for them to hear teachers praising them, even for the tiniest things that they are doing. So sometimes children like them yearn for that acknowledgement and that praises that comes so far and few for them. So let this be a gentle reminder to all of us as educators that sometimes it is really very important, no matter how small that good deed is, it is always very important for us teachers, educators, to praise them, to acknowledge the good effort that they are putting in. So when I mentioned earlier on about giving our student their voice, one way to build a strong teacher-student relationship is to understand what is in our students' mind and how they feel. So if you can recall, before I get started, I have actually asked all of you to share with me how you're feeling using the Zoom emoji. So in our character and moral education lesson in our school, we have a lesson to quickly teach our students to share with us how they feel using what you see on the screen right now, a feeling meter, a mood meter. And this is especially important for more vulnerable students and students with SEN, because sometimes they do not know how or when they can express their thoughts and feelings. So it's important to teach them to recognize their own feelings so that they can develop a healthy identity of themselves. They can recognize and manage their emotions. And as the teachers take time to talk to them to find out what is affecting them, it helps the children to be able to relate to others and develop positive relationship with not just the teachers, but also with people around them. Okay, so let me share with you some photographs of how this is being done in my school. This is a real life example of how we get our children to talk to us. You can see over here name tags of our children, and they will put their names on the zone areas that they are feeling. Are they feeling green? Green means they are feeling good. Blue, they are feeling a little sad. Yellow, they are feeling tired. Or even red, they are feeling angry at that point in time. And we get the children to talk to us why they are feeling that way for the day. And you can see more pictures of how these are implemented in the classroom. We simply just take colored papers to put it up on the classroom walls, and the children will just put their name in the area, in the color zone that they are in. So it's a very quick and easy way for teachers like you and me to find out how the children are feeling and to get them to start talking. Because we know sometimes children do not know how to get started. They do not know where to get started. And we know that right now in this time of age, in this digital world, we want to take good care of our children' mental well-being as well. Okay? And it's not just about teaching the children to act or tell us how they feel. We also teach them after explaining how they can cope with these complex feelings. So sometimes we teach them breathing exercises to teach them how to relax if they are feeling very negative over things that are affecting them. And these are found in our grade 1 and 2 character education lessons. So we do teach them explicitly how this is being done. And like I mentioned earlier on, the character education is a spiral building onto the skills as years goes by. So for older children who are, say, 11 or 12 years old, they would know how to manage their feelings by now. And so we teach them what it means by building good habits and routines. And so over here, you can see one of the page that is taken from our character education lesson as to how good routines and good habits are being formed. And sometimes we ask ourselves, what happens to children with special education needs or children with adverse backgrounds? How can we help them? So then I would like to share with all of you that children like them will probably need more time and more explicit teaching, repetitive teaching, so that they can also learn and remember these useful skills that we are teaching in the classroom. So over here, you can see in this photo how we explicitly teach good classroom routines to children who may have special educational needs. So right now, I will move on to share with you. Now, after teaching these children during lesson time, the skill set that they need to know, how then do we find time to make sure they get to practice it? Now, in Singapore, we adopt what we call an experiential learning approach. That means we get our children to go through what we call an opportunity to learn, to reinforce, and to apply the values and social emotional competencies that they have learned throughout the entire school day, during all programs, as well as teachable moments in between lesson time. Now, for younger children, I know some of you here are from the school, also lower primary. Now, for younger children, and as well as children with learning needs, we will do this through a lot of play-based activities that make use of real-life situations to help them to apply what they have learned. I'm so sorry that just now I think there was some technical issues.
Yeah, you can continue.
So I'm going to go on to share with you how we apply, how we find pockets of time outside timetable lesson to give our children the opportunity to apply in school, to apply the values that they learn in school. So we do this by what we call values in action program. So these are learning experiences, learning platforms that our students can put in practice in terms of their learning through hate, heart, and hand. So what does hate, heart, and hand means? It means hate knowledge. Heart means to be able to show empathy. Hand means to be involved in the work of showing and helping others. So in our school, we find these suitable platforms suitable to their age level so that they can all take part in it. And in ACS Primary, we follow and we advocate what we call children for children. And we tell our students that just because you are a kid, a child, doesn't mean that you cannot make a difference. Everyone can be a change maker, and these include at-risk students, even students with SEN. So this is what we usually tell our children, and we encourage them and yes, but they will also learn to give back. And the beauty of giving back is not because they are having different kind of needs, but we want our students to know that choosing to give back is a personal choice. It's not dictated by their life circumstances. So let me share with you some of the values in action program that we have in ACS Primary. Over here, you can see our boys helping other boys in the school itself. This is what we call children for children. We have our 8-year-old boys, our grade 2 children, helping the grade 1 boys who just came to the school, new to the school. And you can see over here, they actually organize carnival games in their classroom to welcome the new students. And these carnival games are all created by the children using recycled materials. They are very simple games that the children come up with based on sustainability. They are not using anything fanciful, sustainable materials, and also encouraging creativity among them. And as they grow older, at end of primary 1, at the end of grade 1, you can see that these children are honoring the elderly in the community by inviting them to the school to put up a concert for them, to honor the elderly, to share with them how school life has been. Some of our children, we realize in the modern age, some of our children don't get enough time to interact with their own grandparents, let alone interacting with elderly in their community. So that is why we have activities like this, and we encourage our children in the school to reach out to the elderly to honor them. And then these are some of the values in action activities in the middle primary. Middle primary means the grade 3, grade 4 children who are about 9 and 10 years old. So again, they are also coming up with simple carnival games to interact with the elderly in their community. And as they grow up to upper primary, grade 5, grade 6, they are also reaching out to other children outside the school. Over here, you can see photos of them reaching out to other children who are in the special education school. So we are reaching out to children outside the school community. Again, it is children for children. They are also, using their creativity, using recyclable materials to create carnival games to bring some Christmas fun and cheer for this group of children from the special schools. And not forgetting our own children in our own schools, writing encouragement cards to each other, whether is it to encourage them for a brand new year or to encourage them for those older children who are taking their major national exams for the year to come. And as I mentioned, sometimes getting the children to apply their learning in terms of character and values education is not just within the school's effort. Modeling by the adults, especially their family members, can be very important as well. Over here, you can see how we get the children's family to be involved in reaching out to the community. So they gather essentials from their homes so that they can share with the other people in the community by doing home visits together with their parents. So the school creates platforms like this to encourage family bonding and family involvement in terms of educating our children in their moral and character values. So some of you will be asking, we teach our children morals and values, but how do we make sure they really learn? So in ACS Primary, after completing all these values in action activity, our students will reflect on their experience by thinking about the values that they have applied. This is done sometimes through form teacher interaction, that means your homeroom teacher interaction, dialogue session with the children to find out what works and what did not work for them. And we also sometimes we encourage peer-to-peer assessment of how they have been on the day when they carry out such values in action activity. So to round up my sharing for today, I want to emphasize on what I have been sharing with you right at the start about strong teacher-student relationship, how this strong teacher relationship will support our student in developing the essential social emotional competencies to help them become capable contributors to our society and to our nation. So with that, I thank all of you for the time that you have given me. Feel free to, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them at the chat box, and I will try my best as much as I can to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
ให้เห็นตั้งแต่วิสัยทัศน์ของกระทรวงศึกษาธิการนะครับที่ให้ความสำคัญเรื่องของการพัฒนาพฤติกรรมเชิงบวกนะครับ มีทั้งหลักสูตรแล้วก็มีหนังสือด้วยนะครับที่แองเจลินโชว์ตอนแรกว่าจะสอนอะไรบ้างในแต่ละช่วงชั้นนะครับและที่โรงเรียนที่แองเจลินสอนนะครับก็บูรณาการเข้าไปทั้งในเวลาเรียนครับพาร์ท A เนาะแล้วก็พาร์ท B ครับก็คือนอกเวลาเรียนนะครับโดยที่เริ่มต้นจากการที่โรงเรียนนะครับตั้งเป้าหมายก่อนว่าชาว ACS เนี่ยครับควรจะมีลักษณะยังไงก็จะเหมือนที่เราตั้งเป็นคุณธรรมอัตลักษณ์ของโรงเรียนนะครับแล้วก็ในเวลาเรียนเนี่ยก็บูรณาการเข้าไปเนาะทำยังไงบ้างก็คือเริ่มจากสารสัมพันธ์ที่ดีระหว่างครูและนักเรียนนะครับโดยครูไปทำความเข้าใจเด็กๆนะครับรับฟังเสียงเด็กๆนะครับเคารพสื่อสารอย่างค่อยๆเป็นค่อยๆไปว่าที่ถูกนั้นทำยังไงนะครับที่ผิดไม่ได้ติเตียนแบบรุนแรงนะครับแต่ว่าสื่อสารว่าควรจะพัฒนายังไงนะครับแล้วก็ชื่นชมแม้ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องเล็กๆน้อยๆที่เด็กๆทำได้ดียิ่งขึ้นในแต่ละวันนะครับเรื่องการทำความเข้าใจความรู้สึกเนี่ยครับแองเจลินก็เล่าให้ฟังว่าเมื่อเด็กๆเนี่ยเข้าใจความรู้สึกตัวเองเขาก็จะเข้าใจความรู้สึกคนอื่นนะครับแล้วก็อยู่ในสังคมได้เหมาะสมมากยิ่งขึ้นอาจทำง่ายๆโดยการที่เอาแผ่นป้ายชื่อของเขาครับไปแปะเนาะว่าวันนี้รู้สึกยังไงอยู่โซนอารมณ์ไหนนะครับแล้วคุณครูก็จะสามารถมีบทสนทนาต่อกับนักเรียนหลังจากนั้นได้นะครับและในช่วงเวลาที่นักเรียนเกิดอารมณ์ที่รุนแรงก็จะชวนเขาควบคุมอารมณ์ผ่านการฝึกหายใจนะครับที่เป็นรูปสามเหลี่ยมเนาะค่อยๆหายใจเข้าหายใจออกนะครับเมื่อเด็กๆฝึกตรงนี้ครับเขาก็จะพร้อมที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองไปอีกระดับหนึ่งนะครับเด็กโตๆนะครับอย่างเช่นประมาณป .5 ป .6 ก็จะฝึกเรื่องนิสัยแล้วจะไม่ได้แค่อยู่แค่เรื่องอารมณ์นะครับส่วนกิจกรรมนอกเวลาเรียนนะครับในพาร์ท B แองเจลินก็เล่าให้ฟังว่าที่โรงเรียนเนี่ยมี value in action ก็คือชวนให้เด็กๆลงมือทำนะครับเนาะฝึกทั้ง head hand heart ฝึกทั้งแบบความคิดนะครับทักษะการกระทำนะครับแล้วก็ทัศนคติมุมมองต่างๆนะครับเนาะให้เด็กๆฝึกสร้างการเปลี่ยนแปลงผ่านกิจกรรมต่างๆเช่นต้อนรับนักเรียนใหม่ทำเกมง่ายๆที่ไม่ต้องใช้ต้นทุนราคาแพงนะครับหรือว่าทำกิจกรรมเหล่านั้นกับผู้สูงอายุในชุมชนนะครับหรือเขียนจดหมายเพื่อส่งกำลังใจให้นักเรียนที่เรียนจบแล้วนะครับโอเค Angeline now there are some interesting questions you share that when you evaluate the habit with students, you let them reflection. But how the lower age student reflect with you because some of them may have limited vocabulary.
Thank you for the question. Yes, I agree with you. Some of them have limited vocabulary. So what we do is that they do not need to write. So sometimes what we ask them is to draw, especially for, I know there are some preschool teachers here or children with lower ability teachers, teaching lower ability ones. So what we can get them to do is to draw how they have what they feel when they go through that values in action activity after they have taken part in it. So sometimes if they are unable to draw, what we will do is that we will ask them to hold up different emojis, like what I have asked all of you to share with me via Zoom as well. We will ask them to, because we teach them how to recognize their feelings, then we will ask them how they feel from taking part in some of these activities or how they feel after interacting with the elderly or helping their friends, and we ask them to hold their emoji card to show us how they feel from the event. So these are some ways that you can do to help children who have limited vocabulary or limited understanding to express themselves through words, whether is it written or spoken.
Oh, interesting. แองเจลินถามแองเจลินไปนะครับว่าทำยังไงให้เด็กๆเล็กๆครับเขาสามารถสะท้อนการเรียนรู้พฤติกรรมของเขาได้แองเจลินก็บอกว่าก็แม้ว่าเขาจะมีคำศัพท์จำกัดนะครับก็ถ้าพูดไม่ได้ก็ชวนวาดไม่ได้ชวนเอาภาพสัญลักษณ์ต่างๆมาประกอบโอเค Angeline, we have one more question, the last one. How do you communicate with other teachers that the student development experiences SDE are not the extra work for them because they have to do it outside the timetable.
Thank you very much for the question. I think this is a common challenge that we experience, whether is it from Thailand or whether is it in Singapore. To get the teachers buy-in is something that we have to look into on our side as well. So it is on top of sharing with the teachers the importance of teaching our children to not just give them the head knowledge like I shared earlier on. We need to make sure they can feel it in their heart so that they can do the work out with their hands. So the head, heart, and hand portion comes out. And to get the teachers buy-in, what we do sometimes is also as a school to get the teachers to join us in supporting the community through community work. So the teachers also themselves go through these values of action activities so that they get to live out the teaching that they are doing so that they understand what it means to reach out to the community. We are also trying to reach out to our teachers through their head, heart, and hand to make that experience real life so that when the teachers go into the classroom, they have real life experiences to then share and motivate our children. And in this way, we hope our teachers will not feel that teaching our children morals and values and character is an additional responsibility, but it is very much part and parcel of who we are. And by getting our teachers live through similar experiences, they also have that conversation topic to share with our students. And they themselves become the spokesperson to tell our students, to share with our students the importance to develop the right character and moral values.
Oh thank you ถามแองเจลินไปนะครับว่าเมื่อกี้จะทำยังไงให้ครูในโรงเรียนรู้สึกว่าการพัฒนาเด็กนอกเวลาเรียนการสอนเนี่ยมันไม่ใช่ภาระงานเพิ่มนะครับแองเจลินก็บอกว่าโอ้มันเป็นความท้าทายอย่างหนึ่งที่เขาก็ต้องสร้างมุมมองเปลี่ยนมุมมองให้ครูคนอื่นนะครับโดยที่อาจจะเริ่มจากการที่ชวนเขาไปร่วมกิจกรรมกับชุมชนต่างๆก่อนแล้วพอเขามีประสบการณ์ที่ดีนะครับก็สามารถกลับมาแชร์กับนักเรียนนะครับได้เนาะแล้วก็อีกอย่างหนึ่งก็คือการคุยถึงความสำคัญว่าพัฒนาเด็กอ่ะต้องพัฒนาไปทุกมิติเป็น holistic development นะครับเป็นทุกมิติเนาะ head hand heart ไปด้วยกันไม่ใช่แค่เรื่องวิชาการอย่างเดียวนะครับผม Angeline thank you so much for your knowledge exchange and experience sharing I believe that Thai teacher can apply your practice in their school we hope to have the opportunity to see you again have a great day Angeline
Thank you ขอบคุณครับ